And will remain immune from their position of interference and sedition. Let them know that the oppression of the Palestinian will no longer be tolerated. Let them know that Palestine shall be a free nation. My message to the people of these nations is to stand united, side by side. Shia, Sunni, Christians, regardless of race. To all the oppressed people of the world, I say, stand up and fight for your right of freedom and democracy. Do not accept the shackles of tyranny and cruelty anymore. Takbir!
One solution!
And my message to the Muslim Ummah and to every lover of freedom everywhere in the world, my message is death with honor is better than a life of humiliation. These are the words of Sayyidina Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Therefore, I salute those brave people who have given their lives for the cause. Although they have died, their legacy shall remain forever, inshallah.
We believe the Western world has the perfect opportunity to get the relations of Libya, the Gambia, and the favor human rights, freedom, civil liberty, and democracy. The Libyan people, together with the Gambian people, and those countries who have been repressed, deserve to live in a free society. They deserve to live in a free society with open debates and freedom of expression. We just want to be free. And this is what everybody is looking for. This wind of change that has started in Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, and other countries is sweeping throughout North Africa, the Arab world, and is going to sweep up to West Africa. Dictatorial governments, their times are numbered, their days are numbered. Any dictatorship government that is oppressing people, killing people, young people are standing up to fight for their rights, to demand for their rights, and this is exactly what has happened in those countries. 42 years in power, Libyan people have suffered so much, and Colonel Gaddafi today have said that he's ready for reform. A reform that has not been done 42 years can never be done in 2011. What the people of Libya are calling for is for him to leave Libya, so that Libyan people can live in dignity, in freedom, and have a democracy. The Libyan leader, Muammar Gaddafi, has exported terror to the Gambia. In 1994, he sponsored a coup d'etat in that country that took away a democratically elected government. From 1994 to today, Libyan government, Muammar Gaddafi, has propped up that government in power, a government that will by fear, intimidations, and killings. The Gambian president is a very good friend to the Libyan president. What we have seen over the past 16 years, the Gambian president has been sending Gambian youth to Libya to Mataba training center to be trained to kidnap Gambians, to torture Gambians, to kill Gambians. This is unacceptable. Muammar Gaddafi is a threat to Africa, is a threat to humanity, and the best opportunity we have now is to kick him out of power. The campaign for human rights in Gambia stood side by side with the Libyan community, and whatever campaign you have, we will be with you to fight for your rights, for your liberty and your freedom. Thank you very much.
In showing the rest of the world the brutal oppression from Mubarak, the brutal oppression from Gaddafi, and the brutal oppression from the Al Khalifa family in Bahrain. Our next speaker is Pete Murray, who is President of the National Union of Journalists in Britain. Please welcome Pete.
Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. The government, the people who oppress us here, people who oppress people across the Middle East, would like everyone to believe that we're all different, that we're Muslims and Christians and Arabs and Africans and Europeans and Asians. What's happening tonight proves that we're all together. The world is coming together to say no to oppression. In this very square here in George Square in 1917 and 1919, thousands, tens of thousands of people gathered to say no to Britain's imperial war against Germany that caused the division and the separation of people all across the Middle East. Now people are coming together in unity to say no to further oppression, to say that Britain should have no part in the suppression of people across the Middle East. David Cameron is in the Middle East at the moment. This perverse trip where he goes to Egypt and says he supports democracy, and then he goes on to other countries in the Middle East to sell them guns, to sell them bullets, to sell them tear gas, to sell them clubs and shells. And we say no. No more British blood in the Middle East. We'll not accept it any longer. The MPs today said that £3 billion worth of British money is being wasted on defence contracts. £3 billion worth of British taxpayers' money. And yet this government comes to us and says you must close down schools, you must close down hospitals, you must sack people and throw them onto the dole queues to pay for these British weapons. We say no. Britain will have no more part of it. If you want to come for cuts, cut these military projects, cut Trident, cut Britain's involvement in the suppression and oppression of people in Yemen, in Bahrain and in Libya. In 1991 and in 2005, people came to this square and said, no blood for oil. Now we're saying the same thing. No Libyan blood, no Bahraini blood for oil to come to Britain. No more blood on the hands of the British government. Solidarity.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. الشعب يريد إسقاط الحقير. 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 الشعب يريد
Our next speaker this evening is from an organisation that has worked hand in hand with Palestinian groups. It's a very important organisation in Scotland because it helps to confront the Zionist lies that are used to justify the oppression of the Palestinian people. Our next speaker is from an organisation called Scottish Jews for a Just Peace. Could I ask you to welcome Barry Levine, please?
Sisters, thank you for letting me speak here tonight. It's a real pleasure, it's an honour to be speaking here. We're witnessing, I think, an explosion across the whole of the region. An explosion which is, I think, inspiring to see people who have been for years downtrodden by dictators, by Mubarak, by Gaddafi, by the rest of them. And it's, I think, a wonderful expression of the liberation that we're seeing across the whole region as currently stands. There's a very simple message I've got tonight, and that message is that we need to see the revolutions continuing. Hello. We need to see the revolutions continuing across the region, because until the Rafah border is actually opened by the Egyptian people, the Palestinian people will not be free. We need to make that a central demand for the Egyptian revolution. We're witnessing revolutions across the world at the present time. This, I think, we're seeing on our television screens and our news. I think it's so important that we provide the support we can to all the groups who are fighting back. This revolutions in Egypt, in Yemen, in Libya, in Bahrain offers the best hope. Offers the best hope for freedom with the Palestinian people. It's amongst the children that we'll see our future developing, and there's a child there. Brothers, sisters, thank you very much. Final slogan: victory to the Egyptian people, victory to the Libyan people, victory to the Yemeni people, victory to the Bahraini people, and let's see the revolutions continuing and the end to dictators.
Our next speaker from the Algerian community, please welcome him tonight.
Sorry, I'm not prepared enough for the speech anyway. But I was watching everybody going around, and I said, who is missing there? Algeria. After Bahrain, after Libya, after Tunisia, after everybody, then we have to come up. Anyway, we came over actually to support the Libyan people with the Bahrain people, but our people by now also are just under the same climate than everybody anyway in the Arab world. So what I want to say exactly is that now we are criticizing our leaders. Yeah, we have the right to criticize them, and we have the right to hunt them down. But the thing is that all these Western countries who are claiming that they are supporting that and they are against that, they are supporting the people against their leaders, but they are supporting the leaders against their people. We can see David Cameron now, he's in the Middle East for the arms trade, and we can see the French foreign ministry in Tunisia just also for the same purpose. So what I want to say is exactly is like, I don't know, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, the black people have sung "We shall overcome." So then now it's our moment, guys. 20 years ago, after the Berlin Wall, all the communist world have troubled. Also the same thing. They want all through the same time as well. So we are in the same situation. So we keep hope. We hope that we will hunt all our leaders down. We keep hope that we judge them. We face them to the justice, the one they never gave us. We make sure that they all give us back what they have stolen from us. We make sure that our people will never live again under the same tyrants. We make sure that we will all be free. We make sure that we will all work hand in hand as Tunisians, as Egyptians, as Bahrain people, as Algerians, as North Africans, as for the people from the Middle East, as Africans also, all together. We work hand in hand against our leaders who made from us like a bath of blood through the whole times. So we make sure that we hunt them down, and we can sing as the black people sung always, that they shall overcome, then they came, then now they are free. Now again as well, for us, we will be free one day, just as the Europeans have been free from the communism. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
One community within Glasgow and the whole of Scotland who has always stood up for their brothers and sisters, whether it was their brothers and sisters in Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine, or across the Middle East, is the Pakistani community. protesters around the world. So if I could ask you to welcome Ghani, who's speaking from the Pakistani community this evening.
Brothers and sisters, I speak to you as a Scotsman. Hooray for Scotland! Now, it's very interesting. Many speakers have come before me. Somebody has spoken on behalf of Bahrain, and they think they're being ruled by a tyrant in Bahrain. Somebody has spoken on behalf of Egypt and said they have a tyrant in Egypt. But I want to make it clear to you. Remember the puppet show. Remember the puppet show. When you watch a puppet show, you see the puppets in front, and you think the puppets are moving by themselves. Gaddafi is a puppet. Mubarak was a puppet. In Pakistan, we have a big puppet. Zardari is a puppet. The puppets on their own have no power. They have no power. They are made to look powerful. They have no power. The power is in the puppet master. Who are the puppet masters? Because they have the power. The puppet masters are in Washington. The puppet masters are in Germany. They are in France. They are in the UK. These are the real evil people. These are what should be our target in the long run. We want to remove these puppet masters so that we can have self-sustaining, kind, generous and benevolent rulers in the Middle East and in the UK and in America. So please remember, get rid of the puppet masters. And once again, hooray for Scotland!
Our next speaker represents the Libyan community in Scotland. Could I ask you to welcome Sheikh Abdul Basit Anas?
Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. ينصر من يشاء ويذل من يشاء يعز من يشاء ويذل من يشاء. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. In Libya and in Egypt and in Tunisia, Bahrain, everywhere, people now they asking for their own freedom. That's all. That's all what we want. We want our own freedom. Yemen also everywhere. Wherever you go, you find oppression in our countries. No system. And everything is distracted. And these leaders, they try to destroy everything. And they try to put pressure on their own people and they make them afraid. But today, we can say we are not afraid and we are looking for our freedom. And Gaddafi, he will not stay in power anymore. And we can say it clearly here in George Square from Scotland, as we are Scotch, as we are Libyans, as we are students, and as we are a human being. And we ask Gaddafi, who is bombarding today his own people with airplanes, and he is killing his own people with airplanes. Now the death in Libya this is the numbers, is more than 600 today, and more than thousands injured people. We condemn this situation, and we ask the British government and the Scotch MPs and wherever the people who can support us, we are asking them why they are shutting their mouths, why they don't speak up. This is the moment that they have to speak up for the rights of other people. people. Our people, they are injured and they are on death. And they are swimming in the bloods in Libya. And they want to condemn Gaddafi. We are condemning Gaddafi and we are asking Gaddafi to leave right away. And we are asking the UK government that they have to support our people and they have to stand side by side and they have to look their rights. There are human rights, not animal rights. They are looking for animal rights here. We have a human in Libya being tortured, and this government, they are using the African slaves. They are paying them 12,000 for each Libyan being killed. And this criminal Gaddafi, he said, I don't have. What's happening in Libya, you cannot imagine. The infrastructure of Libya, education and medications and everything is damaged and distracted and destroyed. We are the richest country in the world. We have the oil that no country has, the oil that we have. But unfortunately, he is giving this freely to America and to our enemies to give him a very old weapon that he can use against his people. And we condemn this, and we are asking Mr. Obama, if he is a mister, we are asking him to stand beside the Libyans today and to go out and speak on our rights. If he is we are asking them to stop dealing with this criminal person, to close the embassy, and not to deal with them. This is number one. And we are asking the UK government to stop any treatment and any trade with Libya right now, because this regime has to be stepping down, has to step down. And we don't want this government to deal with this regime anymore. This regime has to go away. He and his sons and his family, this country is not belonging to him. This country belongs to Libyans. And we are asking the MPs also to speak on behalf of the human being who are being tortured. Today, one of the ladies from my village being shot in the head, and a child being killed, and it's a very big massacre there. So we are asking the European Union and others to speak up against these criminations. And finally, we wish all the best, and I am sure that Gaddafi tomorrow will not be in power. I am positively sure. Thank you.
Please welcome Angela. Thank you. Friends, we're here tonight. Like there are thousands outside the London Embassy calling for it, not telling them, not asking them, sorry, but telling them, shut it down now until they have got peace, they've got democracy and justice in Libya. We're here tonight like they're being Downing Street tonight, and like they're in Edinburgh tonight gathering in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, Yemen, Bahrain, Morocco and Algeria. And we are only here because of their bravery. We are only here because of their determination in the face of tanks, in the face of tear gas, machine guns, mercenaries, airstrikes, and the people still protest. And I tell you, I watch it and I'm inspired, and I like to think that if that day ever came for me, if I had to fight for democracy, for my family and freedom, then I would have
and we stand in solidarity with them today. I hear Gaddafi's been on TV, but don't worry friends, we all know how it goes. Tyrants and dictators must appear on TV at least 3 times saying they're definitely not going before they go. So Gaddafi's been on twice saying he's not going. The day is soon, it could be tomorrow, he will go. I want to repeat the words of a sister I heard from the streets of Libya when she was asked, and she said 2 things. And she said, do you think we will forget our young? Do you think we can forget our young who have been killed? No, we cannot forget. And another thing that someone else from Libya said, what are they fighting with? Faced with airstrikes, tanks, machine guns, and a desperate tyrant at the end of his days. What did he say? What are they people's weapons? And someone said, our dreams are our weapons. And we're here tonight to say that we share the same dream as them for a democratic, peaceful and just Middle East. And the people will deliver it. I've got another couple of messages. Let me tell you as well, this will not be the last demonstration in Scotland for as long as there is injustice in the Middle East. I must say, I have got to mention a couple of things. You might not have noticed it, but in September 2009 the Scotsman produced an article. And what did that article headline say? It said, record sales of arms to Libya from the UK. It was a record year, 2009, for British arms sales to Libya. And we look at them today, the tear gas, the tanks, the aeroplanes, the guns, stamped, made in the UK. Our rulers, Cameron, I've got other problems with him, as we know, he and Blair before him have delivered this terror into Gaddafi's hands to unleash on the people of Libya, and we must shut down the arms sales. Don't ask them. We're going to be marching and demonstrating to tell them that here in the UK they've got to stop all arms sales now. David Cameron was in Egypt. Did you see him? I seen him shake hands with the young children, the young boy about 12, and he shook his hand. Well, there was another thing I read. Did you know what David Cameron said to that 12-year-old boy? He bent down and he said to him, see, if you were in Britain, mate, you'd still be kettled. That's what David Cameron does to his young here. Yeah, he goes to Cairo after he's been a friend of Mubarak for decades, and he tries to be a friend of the young. When it's his weapons, BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, in this city, in cities across the UK, that are producing the arms, that are making the profits, not for the people of Scotland, not for the people that live in Scotland or the UK, but into the hands of dictators, and to strengthen their hand, and to be used exactly at moments like this. And only as we're here today because those weapons have failed, because as I said, as the people have said, Egypt, Tunisia and Libya, our dreams are our weapons, and you can't put a price on them, and people are determined. Another thing I have to say is that for years we've been told that democracy is to be delivered by Europe, Britain, America. Democracy is to be delivered to the Arab world in the Middle East. And we look at what they've done to Iraq and Afghanistan. They've bombed people, they've killed them, they've cut them off for any kind of lifeline, and there is no democracy. And that's why I think it's really important all across Scotland we mobilise, we give solidarity and support, we give all the support and solidarity we can to our hearts, and a testament to their bravery, but also to show that democracy is not something delivered at the end of a bomb. Democracy is something fought for, produced and alive today in the streets of Libya, of Bahrain, Egypt, Tunisia, Yemen, Morocco, Algeria and Iran. That is democracy, not wars or occupations. We're here today for peace, democracy and justice in the Middle East. And as I said, just to finish up, this is not the last demonstration. People round about the size of this tonight, the size of the protests in solidarity with Egypt, the strength of feeling that we know is in every street, in every workplace, in every university, college, in every mosque, in every church, as we watch Al Jazeera English, as we watch Sky News. And so I'm happy to say that this is not the last chance to demonstrate. I want you to leave here tonight. I want you to come back with more numbers, more flags, more shouting, more bawling, standing up for justice. And I want you to come back this Saturday. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It's this Saturday. You're coming back this Saturday, the 12th Because the people that run our society here need to see the strength of feeling. We need to continue to protest. And I tell you what, we're going to turn George Square. We're going to rename it. We're going to rename it and we're going to call it Liberation Square. My friends, I would like to finish. Yes, no, I'm going to try something with one. We're going to try this. So see, don't make faces at me, but we're going to try it. 1, 2, 3. Shah, Uri, Iskat, and Nizam. 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 Yes, God, yes, God. Yes, God, yes, God, Gaddafi. 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 Yes, God, yes, God, yes, God, yes, God, Khalifa. 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 Yes, God, yes, God, Gaddafi. Yes, God, yes, God, Gaddafi. الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام. الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام. الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام. الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام.
ساعة 1 ننطلقوا من جورج سكوير، ساعة 1 يوم السبت، ما تنسوش هذا الموعد.